Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're doing a total idiot's guide to sharpening knives, and I'm your total idiot. So we're going to start with our whetstone, which is numbered 6,000 and 1,000. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to drop this into my bowl of water where it's going to start to bubble a little bit. We're going to let it go until the bubbles stop or until 15 to 20 minutes. Now, I like to sharpen my knives twice a year. This year I didn't do it in the middle of the year like I should have. So I do it once at the middle of the year, once at the end of the year. This is the time at the end of the year, right? And we're going to sharpen our knives, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how to do this. I am by no means a knife sharpening expert, and sharpening my knives makes me anxious because how do I do it again? Right? So Total Idiot will guide you through the process, and if I can do it, you can do it. We're ready to sharpen. 1,000 is our coarse grit. 6,000 is our fine grit. So we go on this side first. The 1,000 side is first. You use that to sharpen. So we're going to start. We're going to put our little plastic guard around it. That's going to try to prevent slipping. I like to keep a 1/4 measure so I can add more water to the stone if I have to. I also, because I don't do this very often, I like to have a kitchen scale. When you sharpen, once you get the knife in place, you're going to want to put 3 to 4 pounds of pressure on the blade while you're sharpening. But before you do that, you got to understand what that means. So, see, this is 3. It's easy to push down and get 5 or 6. You don't want to go that high. Anyway, oftentimes these stones will come with a sharpening guide that you can put in, and then you can just run it along. The guide will keep it at the angle that you want. What you're looking for is 20 degrees. Really, you're going to wind up more like 22, but that's fine. You start at 90, because you know what that is from math class as a child. Cut that in half, you got 45. Cut it in half again, and you got 22. Right? Now, when we go to sharpen, we're going to press down on the knife. Go heel to blade. Then we're going to flip it over. Heel to blade again. That's one pass. Down again. Heel to blade. Up again. Heel to blade. And you'll want to do that 10 times. Once you do that 10 times, then you can flip it over. Go to the coarse side. Or go to the not coarse side. Go to the fine side. Right? And again, 10 passes on each side. Then if you want, we have our honing rod. This is not a knife sharpener. You use this to basically just kind of keep the blade straight. As you use the knife, it gets a little cracks, it bends a little bit, and this is to keep the blade straight. So again, you start off with it straight up and down. If you're a newbie, you go flat, 45, 22, whole length of the blade. Doesn't have to be crazy complicated, doesn't have to be a lot. In an ideal world, you'll know you're done when it passes the tomato test. I don't have a tomato, I have an onion. But you can see it's sharp. You test all parts of it, and you just see if it cuts with no effort. This is a chef's knife. This is kind of cheap. I like it because, one, it's cheap. It comes razor sharp. I've been buying these up for my friends. And 2, this is your everyday knife. Use this for everything. It's not for special occasions. It's for everyday cooking. It's great. This is for potatoes and onions, stuff that sticks together. these segments prevent the sticking. So if you've ever gotten a knife stuck in a potato or a potato stuck on the side of a knife, sometimes they get vacuum sealed in a weird way. That's great for that. This is a vegetable cleaver. I love this freaking thing. So I'm going to sharpen all of these. I'm not going to make you watch all of them though. But again, for stuff like this, where the guide would be friggin' useless, that 45-90 rule really helps. So you start again. Oh, let's add some water. It's not very wet anymore. Oop. So I'm going to flip my stone back over. I'm going to do at least one more knife. I like to do them all, like I said, right before the new year. So first, let's dry it out. Pour some water over it. Start at 90 degrees, because I could never do this with the guide. It would never work. 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 22 degrees, a couple pounds of pressure. One pass, flip, one pass, and then do it all again on this one. I'm not going to count again. One. And then we hone. Again, just a couple passes. So it turns out I did all of this video without the additional set lights. If you can see them there. I didn't turn them on. I didn't even bring them into the room, and I didn't notice that they weren't there. So I'm not redoing any of this. I'm just going to put the footage up because it's 2 days before Christmas and I really need to get my life together. But before I go, I do have a few parting words. One, remember, this is a honing rod. It is for keeping your blade straight. It is not a sharpener. You are not sharpening the knife when you use this. For sharpening the knife, you either need a specialty knife sharpener or you need a whetstone. I recommend the whetstone. It'll cure what ails you. Two, at the end of the year, there are a few other things that I like to do that I'm just going to tag in on the end of this video. One, wooden utensils. Anybody that is particularly cracked, like this spatula, should be discarded and replaced because inside the cracks, bacteria grow. So don't keep this. You also should avoid dishwashing this because it dries out the wood, and that's one of the reasons these cracks grow. You can oil these to preserve them. I did not, and this faced the penalty of that, so get it out of there. Then there's cutting boards. When I sharpen my knives, I like to inspect my cutting boards. I don't know if you can see it because of all the lighting in here, but there's a stain there, there's a stain there. They don't come out when I wash it. That means it's time to go. If the grooves are too deep or they feel extra deep, get rid of it. That's where bacteria grows. There are 4 kinds of cutting boards. I've got plastic, which is dishwasher safe. There's wood, which is not dishwasher safe. But both of those are soft and usable without destroying your knives too badly. Then there's rubber, which is probably the best for them, but it's also the most expensive. Then there is glass. Do not get a glass cutting board. I will say that again for the kids in the back of the room in the cheap seats. Do not get a glass cutting board. They're too hard. When you bring the knife down to cut something, all that dinging against the glass is going to damage the knife. It's going to chip the knife, and you're going to have to sharpen it way more often. So at the end of the year, I'm getting rid of this cutting board. I'm probably getting rid of this cutting board, and I'm phasing out some of my dinged up, broken wooden utensils. Anyway, have a safe and happy New Year. Like, subscribe, click that little bell, and I'll see you in the new year. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how badly I failed this video. This has been your complete idiot, Mark, signing off. See you next year.